What if the worst day of your life was actually the best thing that could have ever happened to you? When a woman decides to walk away or choose another man, it feels like an absolute curse. For most men, this gut-wrenching heartbreak causes them to completely collapse. They drown themselves in a cycle of self-pity, desperately searching for closure, and replaying every single moment in their heads while asking what they did wrong. They view the end of the relationship as the ultimate defeat. But a man who understands reality and embraces a higher mindset sees the absolute truth. He realizes that this pain is not a curse, but a profound blessing disguised as a crisis. It is a massive opportunity for total transformation, clearing away the old to make room for something far greater. The moment she walked away, she did not ruin your life or destroy your future. In reality, she handed you a definitive choice. You can choose to stay broken, weak, and needy, letting the rejection dictate your worth, or you can choose to rise and use this intense emotional pain to forge yourself into someone completely unshakable. She naturally expects you to be lost, shattered, and desperate without her. Instead, you are about to completely flip the script. You are on the path to becoming the exact man she deeply regrets leaving. This will not happen because you chased her or begged her to stay, but because you possessed the rare, untouchable strength to let her go without a fight. If you are truly ready to master your emotions, reclaim your absolute power, and make her see exactly what she threw away, then you need to commit to this journey right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let us dive directly into the laws of emotional mastery that will change everything. Let us begin by shifting your perspective on what you thought you lost. Let us be completely honest about what hurts so bad right now. It is the illusion you built in your head. You remember her smile, the way she held your hand, and the promises made in the dark, and you thought it meant forever. It did not. Most men love with a sense of permanence. They view a woman as their future and build their entire world around her. They treat her like the foundation of their happiness. But feelings are not permanent. They change like the weather, moving like the tide, unpredictable and uncontrollable. One day she is completely invested, promising she will never leave, and the next she is in another man's arms, acting as if you never existed. You stand there shattered, asking yourself how someone could move on so easily. The truth is simple. She did not view the relationship or love the same way you did. While men often focus on loyalty, logic, and building a future, a woman's attraction is heavily tied to how she feels in the present moment. They are driven by emotion, excitement, and the constant need for dynamic stimulation. When the initial excitement fades into routine, an emotionally unguided person starts looking elsewhere for that next rush of validation. It is not because you did something wrong, and it is not because you were not enough. It is because she was never yours to keep in the first place. The fairy tale of unbreakable devotion that society sells young men is a fantasy. The moment you stop treating love like a possession, you free yourself from heartbreak. A wise man accepts that everything in life is fleeting, including romantic attachments. He does not beg for permanence in a world where everything is temporary. When a woman chooses someone else, a desperate man spirals, calling, texting, and pleading to remind her of the memories they shared. But all this does is prove your weakness. The second you seek validation from the person who rejected you, you hand them complete power over your life. A strong man never gives away his power. He steps back, lets her go, and recognizes that true freedom begins when you break the chains of emotional dependency. She expects you to break. Right now, she is waiting for the late-night text, the angry reaction, or the sad social media post. She expects you to lash out, react impulsively, and crumble under the weight of your heartbreak. Why? Because when you react out of pain, you validate her decision to leave. You show her that she still controls your happiness and that she was the prize all along. A weak man lets his feelings dictate his daily actions, checking her profile, looking for signs of regret, and drowning in self-pity while playing the victim. But a man who controls his emotions controls his entire destiny. Think about what actually happens when you let your emotions take over. You become impulsive, acting out of fear, pain, and a desperate need to regain what was lost. Every time you react to her, you give her more control. The more she sees you hurting, the more she feels validated in her choice to walk away. That is why your approach must be entirely different. Mastering your emotions does not mean you suppress your feelings or pretend the pain does not exist. It means you acknowledge the pain, but you completely refuse to let it dictate your actions. You step back, detach, and consciously choose how you will respond to the world. Think of this heartbreak as an intense fire burning inside your chest. A weak man lets that fire consume him, burning his goals, his health, and his dignity to the ground through reckless behavior. A powerful man harnesses that fire. He uses the anger, the frustration, and the hurt as pure motivation to elevate his life. Your true strength is not found in the absence of emotion, but in your ability to remain completely unshaken by it. The moment you stop reacting, stop seeking validation, and stop caring whether she regrets her decision or not, you win the psychological battle. When she looks back and sees you completely unmoved, the doubt will naturally creep into her mind, and she will realize she lost someone genuinely powerful. Walking away is not losing, it is the ultimate win. The second you remove yourself from her life without a fight, you instantly reclaim your value. Too many men try to negotiate a breakup. They send long paragraphs explaining their feelings, hoping she will suddenly realize how much they meant to her. They try to fix what is fundamentally broken, but here is the brutal truth you need to accept. She already knew how much you cared, she knew it would hurt you, and she made the choice to leave anyway. Do not degrade yourself by trying to convince someone to stay in your life. A man of value knows his worth, and a man who knows his worth does not plead for someone to see it. He simply removes himself from the equation without hesitation, without explanation, and without regret. Weak men cling because they are terrified of the void left behind. Powerful men walk away because they respect themselves too much to stay where they are not valued. When you walk away cleanly, an incredible paradox occurs. She expected tears and desperation, but instead, she got total absence. She is left standing in the quiet, wondering why you didn't fight for her, why you didn't beg, and if she ever really mattered to you at all. People only value what they fear losing forever. As long as you are present, available, or waiting in the background, hoping for another chance, she knows she still has a hold on you. She feels safe. But the moment you vanish for good, she has to face the harsh reality of your absolute absence. Most people do not regret losing someone immediately. They only regret it when they see that person thriving, unbothered, and completely unreachable. Walking away is not a game or a tactic to make her miss you. It is the realization that a king never begs. A king does not convince people to stay in his kingdom. He simply lets those who wish to leave go, and he closes the gates behind them. Silence is the loudest, most devastating answer you can ever give. It removes her control and creates an immediate mystery in her mind. While most men try to fix things with words, explanations, and emotional appeals, a strong man lets his complete absence speak for him. When a woman leaves, she expects a predictable reaction. She expects anger, sadness, or pleading. But the moment you give her absolutely nothing, a deep seed of doubt is planted in her mind. Silence forces her to sit alone with the consequences of her decision, and that silence will quickly become heavier than anything you could ever say. Every single word you send her after a breakup is a reminder that she still occupies your mind. It feeds her ego and assures her that you are still sitting on the hook. That is why silence is your greatest weapon. It completely removes her emotional leverage. She will begin to wonder why you haven't reached out, if you ever truly cared, or if you have already found someone better. That uncertainty is what causes a person's mind to spiral. The same person who walked away completely convinced she was making the right move now finds herself questioning everything, because a man who can walk away in total silence is rare, and people always desire what is rare. Furthermore, silence gives you the necessary space to reclaim yourself. When you stop waiting for a text response and stop draining your mental energy on someone who chose to leave, you can channel all of that focus back into your own life. While she expects you to be shattered in your room, you are quietly rebuilding your mind, your body, and your purpose. Months down the road, she might test the waters with a casual text message just to see if she still has access to you. A weak man jumps at the opportunity, but a wise man remains silent. Responding only serves her ego, not your value. Your time, your energy, and your presence are privileges, and once she threw them away, she lost the right to them forever. The absolute best revenge is not anger. It is not proving her wrong, and it is not even trying to make her miss you. The ultimate revenge is personal evolution. It is becoming a man so successful, physically fit, and mentally sharp that she could not even get back into your league if she tried. Most men waste months sitting in their pain, overanalyzing what went wrong and obsessing over the past. Do not waste a single second. Take every ounce of that negative emotional energy and pour it directly into building an undeniable version of yourself. This is where you separate yourself from the vast majority of men. While she expects you to be broken and stagnant, you are quietly transforming. Every single gym session, every book you read, every goal you smash, and every dollar you make should be treated as fuel. This transformation is not about proving anything to her. It is about proving to yourself that you were always the prize. When a man fully commits to his own self-improvement, he naturally becomes unreachable. People do not regret losing someone who stays exactly the same. They regret losing someone who evolves far beyond them. Picture your life months from now. Imagine being in the absolute best shape of your life, your mind entirely focused, your finances dialed in, and your energy completely shifted. You walk into a room and command respect without saying a word because you no longer crave outside validation. When she eventually sees this version of you, the regret will hit her heavily. She will wonder how she misjudged you and realized she left a man of true value. But the cruel reality for her is that she cannot have you back. You are no longer sitting in the past waiting for her. You have leveled up completely out of her reach, and you are now the one who decides who is worthy of your time. Right now, she believes she holds all the power in this situation. She walked away, she made the choice, and she assumes you are sitting around missing her and wishing for her return. But what happens to that power dynamic when you completely stop caring? This is how you flip the script entirely. It is not about manipulation or playing childish emotional games. It is about genuine indifference. The man who is truly detached and completely self-sufficient is the man who holds all the cards in life. Most men try to regain control by doing things to get a woman's attention, like posting specific things online or trying to make her jealous. But all of this stems from a place of deep attachment, and attachment is a position of weakness. A wise man disappears from her world completely, not out of anger or spite, but because he simply has more important things to focus on. When you remove yourself entirely and become completely unreachable, her mind will naturally begin to panic. The certainty she felt when she left vanishes, replaced by a flood of questions about whether she made a massive mistake. Human nature dictates that people are naturally drawn to what they cannot control or easily predict. The moment she senses that she no longer has an emotional grip on you, your perceived value skyrockets. Think about how often people try to return to a relationship only after the other person has genuinely moved on with their life. It is not because they suddenly realize the person was perfect. It is because they realize they lost their power over them. Reverse the dynamic today. Stop chasing, stop waiting, and stop giving away your emotional reactions. Level up, become completely unreachable, and let her feel the true weight of your absence. The exact moment you stop caring is the exact moment people start noticing. When you genuinely detach from the outcome of a relationship, you become incredibly magnetic because nothing is more attractive than a man who is completely self-contained and unaffected by rejection. Many men make the mistake of thinking attraction is built through constant pursuit, effort, and proving how much they care. But true attraction is often created through absence, boundaries, and the clear realization that she is no longer the center of your universe. When you remove the constant attention and validation she expects you to provide, a void is created. She will begin to wonder why you aren't reacting like every other man would, why you aren't chasing, and how you manage to move forward so easily. When you want her back desperately, she feels absolutely no urgency because she knows she can have you whenever she wants. But when you genuinely stop caring and focus entirely on your own mission, the dynamic completely reverses. Never forget that neediness repels, while indifference attracts. When a man is emotionally independent and does not rely on a relationship to feel whole, he becomes a rare individual. He becomes the kind of man that people respect, admire, and secretly fear losing. This is why true detachment is so powerful. It shifts your energy entirely. You stop being the man who pleads for love and start being the man who commands respect. A true master does not just act detached as a tactic to get someone back. He actually lets go. He locks in on his purpose, focuses on his daily discipline, and realizes that a life built on self-respect is far more valuable than a life spent chasing someone who walked away. She thought the grass would be greener on the other side. She thought she was making the right choice, and she assumed you would always be waiting in the background as a safety net. But as time passes and you remain completely silent, unreachable, and focused on your growth, the reality of her decision will begin to set in. This leads to what is often the inevitable outreach. It happens when a man truly detaches, stops reacting, and refuses to feed the other person's ego with his energy. As the initial excitement of her new situation begins to fade and reality settles into a routine, she will look back at what she left behind. But instead of seeing the broken, desperate man she expects, she will see someone entirely different. She will see a man who has upgraded his body, his mind, his career, and his boundaries. She will see a man who no longer needs her or seeks her approval. This realization causes an immediate shift, and she will likely try to test the waters to see if she still has a place in your mind. This outreach usually starts small, a random text, a casual question, or an interaction on an old post. This is the exact moment where most men fail. They get excited, respond instantly, and fall right back into the old dynamic, hoping things will be different. But you must see these breadcrumbs for exactly what they are, an ego test. She is not reaching out because she respects you. She is reaching out because your silence made her feel insecure, and she wants to know if she still controls you emotionally. The moment you give in and validate her, the game resets. A wise man remains completely indifferent. He does not react, he does not engage, and he keeps moving forward because he knows that a man of value never lets someone make the same mistake twice. She didn't break you, she freed you. You need to look in the mirror and realize a fundamental truth. You were the prize all along. When the heartbreak first happened, it felt like a massive loss because your worth was tied to her presence. But reality shows a different story. She lost a man of loyalty, strength, and continuous growth, and that is a loss she will have to carry moving forward. While she was out looking for temporary validation, you were quietly building an undeniable life grounded in self-respect and discipline. This is the core of the Stoic mindset. It is the deep, unwavering understanding that nothing outside of your own mind defines your true worth. Not a relationship, not a rejection, and not the choices of another person. Your value is generated from within, through your actions, your discipline, and your character. Once you truly embody this mindset, you become completely untouchable. You no longer fear losing people because you know that a man who values himself is never truly alone. You validate yourself through your daily habits, your goals, and your consistency. You no longer need to chase love because you understand that self-respect is the only foundation that matters. When she looks back and sees your success, your confidence, and your total lack of neediness, she will realize the magnitude of what she threw away. But by then, it will not matter to you at all. You won't care about her regret, her choices, or her explanations because you have completely transcended the version of yourself that thought she was the best you could do. You have taken complete control of your destiny, and when you focus entirely on mastering your own life, everything else, success, respect, and the right people, aligns effortlessly. In the end, it was never about her. It was always about you. This entire painful experience was not meant to destroy your life, but to serve as the ultimate wake-up call. It was an opportunity to shed your weaknesses, discard your dependencies, and build an unshakable foundation of self-mastery. The man who can control his emotions, walk away without looking back, and detach from what no longer serves his highest good is the man who wins at life. You now stand at a definitive crossroads with a choice to make. Will you stay stuck in the past, obsessing over someone who chose to leave? Or will you take this pain, turn it into raw fuel, and transform yourself into an untouchable man? A man who knows his worth never fears loss, and he never wastes his time convincing someone else to see his value. If you found true value in this lesson today, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a step on this path of self-mastery. Leave a comment below, letting the world know you are locked in. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and remember that you were the prize all along. Until next time.